Is that okay? Better? Okay, yeah. Fumbling. Jeez. All right. Makes me stressed and anxious, right? So yeah. Are you stressed or anxious about your career or life? Are you curious to understand how your mind works so you can do something about it? Are you looking for tools to help you better manage your mindset? Then this video is for you. In today's video, we'll be discussing how to manage your mind to reduce or change your relationship with stress and anxiety. If you're a returning subscriber, glad to have you back. If you're new, hello and welcome. I'm Luki, and I make videos on what you didn't know you needed to know about jobs, careers, and life. Subscribe to stay up to date. My returning subscribers have probably heard this enough times now, but I have to do this in case someone new is watching. Now let's get on with the video. Why do we even have stress and anxiety in the first place? Well, it started in the savannah. If you imagine that you're in the early days of human evolution and you're in the African savannah with your tribe, you're enjoying the sun, the village children are playing in the distance, when suddenly the hairs on the back of your neck stand up and you feel something is not quite right. In the distance, in the tall grass, just behind the village children, you notice something. Hyenas, a pack of them moving towards the kids. A wave of sadness comes over you as you recall that just a few days earlier, a neighboring tribe lost one of their children. Then, that's quickly replaced by a wave of anger and determination as you want to save the children. Stress levels and anxiety levels go to maximum levels. Quickly, you grab your spear nearby and rush towards the kid and start yelling at others to help. You yell for the kids to come towards you and hope the sudden noise startles the hyenas enough, and sure enough, they turn around and start running the other way. You send the children to their parents and have someone stand watch to make sure the hyenas keep a safe distance. You breathe a sigh of relief. Stress goes down, anxiety goes down, and you get back to whatever you were doing. Crisis averted. Today, we deal with different stresses and anxieties. You wake up to an alarm that tells you to get up. You get notifications or messages for work to be done, or bills that are due, or things that need fixing, or people that need your attention. You're living in the constant hum of low-grade stress and anxiety, never able to breathe that sigh of relief, at least not for very long. In our modern world, we no longer have to worry about hyenas, though you do need to worry about ants. Not necessarily the insect kind, but what Dr. Daniel Amen coined as ants, automatic negative thoughts. To understand how we got to this point, it helps to understand the evolution of our brain. The human brain is roughly divided into three major parts. The brainstem, which is the most primitive part of our brain and responsible for fight or flight. The mammalian brain, which is responsible for emotions. And if you think of emotions, they're just advanced warning signs for fight or flight. What is sadness? A feeling of wanting to get away from the current situation, or whatever is making you sad. What is anger? A feeling of wanting to fight. And at the topmost level sits the neocortex, the new brain, really the human part of the brain, where rational thinking takes place, imagination and creativity reside. The challenging bit is that to be rational, our brains need to deal with emotions first. There are a few helpful models that allow us to understand our brain's inner workings, our mind at work. One is thinking of our emotional mind as an elephant and our rational mind as a rider. Another is to think of our mind like a computer. We don't have keyboards or touchscreens or mice like a computer. However, we do have our sight, our hearing, smell, and touch, and those inputs get coded into our mind based on our language, our memories, our values, beliefs, and attitudes. Which means your elephant may be cool, calm, and collected, or jittery, stressed, and anxious. It doesn't even take trauma with a capital T to turn on those stress and anxiety-inducing responses. Some of us have had trauma with a capital T. All of us have had trauma with a lowercase t. When the trauma is processed and meaning is made from them, then we can manage our emotions. And when they aren't, that's when stress and anxiety can cause things to go wrong. Let's say something happens. You get a notification or email. Someone says or does something, and we react versus respond. Reactions are just preconditioned responses, just like fight or flight. Responses, however, are thoughtful, more future-focused versus in the heat of the moment. Viktor Frankl has a quote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." What I've learned is that the process of stimulus to response goes through several steps, which I call the St. Farr model. The stimulus happens, then we have a thought about it, which is accompanied by a feeling, sometimes at the same time as the thought, which causes us to do something, or in some cases, not do something. And that's our reaction or response. And ultimately, that produces our results, which are the consequences of our actions. Now, one consideration is whose thoughts are those? Might seem like a silly question, and there's another model that's helpful in this case. You're actually three people. Think of me, myself, and I. You're your physical body, your blood, your bones, your muscles, and all that. You're your thoughts, the voices in your head. And if you're wondering what voices, that voice. Lastly, you're the awareness or consciousness of those thoughts. In actuality, that's the real you. So you're the thinker of the thoughts, not the actual thoughts themselves. And there's a useful quote, don't believe everything you think. Before we continue, if you found this video helpful, join the Focus Inspired Academy, which is our gym for career confidence. Go deeper into these concepts and apply them through group coaching to help you accelerate your career success. Check the link in the description below for a free 1-month trial for supporting the channel. Now that you know all of that, what can we do to help manage your mindset? I recommend 4 steps. First, allocate time. Second, improve your awareness. Third, process your trauma. And fourth, program your focus and future. If you've been following me, you will probably be familiar with my concept of non-negotiable time. Time that you allocate for the highest priority person of all, yourself. When you make the choice to prioritize your mental wellness so that you can manage your mindset and better deal with the stress and anxiety, then you'll find a lot of growth on the other side. How much time should you allocate? Half an hour a day, a few hours a week, really as much time as you can. During your non-negotiable time, you'll want to improve your awareness. That might be through adding meditation and mindfulness throughout your day. Start with mindfulness and being in the present moment. Pay attention to mundane and routine activities. Focus on your senses. Let's say you wash your hands. Feel the water on your hands. How cold or how hot it is. How slippery or how bubbly the soap feels. When you eat, pay attention to the texture of the food, the taste, the smell. Take time to enjoy what you're eating. Whenever you can, remember to be present in the moment. As you level up your awareness, then that space between stimulus and response gets ever so slightly bigger. You should also allocate time to process your stimulus. That could be the capital T trauma or the lowercase t trauma. For the capital T trauma, you might have to work with a therapist. For medium-sized traumas, you could work with a coach. And for smaller traumas, you could do some self-work. For self-work, you could journal or do The Work by Byron Katie. Or you can do a thought download and work on shifting the words you use or your perspectives. In a thought download, you write down all of your thoughts in as much detail as you can. Then you read and make meaning out of those thoughts. Consider the quote, "For there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so." Whatever happened, happened. It's up to you to make meaning of what happened, to be good or to be bad. It really is your choice. This became challenging to me as it's sometimes hard to find the good in a bad situation. Another helpful model to consider is that in every moment, we're focusing on 3 things: what we have or what we don't have, what we can control or what we can't control, or on the past, present, or the future. When you focus on what you don't have, what you can't control, and on the past, then the situation often appears bad. When you flip the switches and focus on what you do have, what you can control, and on the future or the present, then the perspective often switches to good. Practice changing perspectives or flipping switches, and you'll find that a lot of the trauma disappears or at least has less of an impact. Last is to program your focus and your future. As you process your thoughts and traumas, you'll want to end with "next time, I will." And it might not happen 100% of the time, though if it happens 10%, then it's better than 0, and it'll eventually improve with practice. To manage your stress and anxiety, allocate time to manage your mindset, improve your awareness, process your trauma, and program your focus and future. If you found this helpful to manage your mindset to change your relationship with stress and anxiety, give this video a like, as it helps reach a wider audience who might be interested in the video. Let me know if you have any questions or what you're struggling with in your job search or career, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on jobs, careers, and life. And YouTube recommends that you check out these videos next.